Darragh, the last time you were here, you were very disappointed, even though you picked up the win. A much better, cleaner performance this time. How are you feeling?
Yeah, well, again, I'm not going to be too critical this time. Look, after my last performance, you said I wasn't too happy. As I said to a lot of the interviewers over the while, I was very happy with how I patched up my holes in my game. Spent a lot of time working on my weak points, and I was just chatting to John recently. You know, I've been in all my fight simulations throughout the years. I was doing the same thing, winning all my fight sims, never working on my weak areas. And recently, this camp and since my last fight, I've been going in with fight simulations and telling myself, right, I'm not going to grapple once. I'm going to strike the whole time. So I've been really working on my weak points, but I feel like I said to John, it almost feels like I'm going one step backwards to go two steps forward in the near future. So that's how I felt tonight. I feel like I've put all the work in my weak points and one step back, two steps forward, and I'm going to keep climbing. So,
how did the featherweight limit suit you? Obviously, you look good at the weigh-ins yesterday. How did you feel today?
Oh yeah, I feel like now I know. I came down here to be the strongest man, the featherweight, and the bigger man. No, that cunt, he was fucking strong, man. I think he's one of the strongest people I've ever felt. But I knew rightly, looking at him and feeling him, I could feel him squeezing. So I knew it was going to be, you know, how long could he do that for? He's not going to do that for 3 rounds. I said to him, I was like, you're going to burn out. I was talking to him in there. And once I got back to the corner after the first round, I said to John, he's going to burn out, he's going to burn out. I could feel him quitting and slowing down. So, you know, at this weight though, I feel much better, much fitter. Everybody's strong, and I think this is a much better fit for me.
How good was it for you as well to prove in your very first fight that you could take cardio into the third round and get almost stronger as the latter half of the third round went on?
Yeah, well, like I put a lot of work into my cardio. The last fight, I know I said that as well, but I went in there and I sprinted from bell to bell. Like, you know, that's gonna empty anyone's gas tank. But nah, I put a lot of work into it, and it's good for me knowing that a weight cut doesn't affect it either. You know, as you said, I was getting better as the fight went on. So.
Darragh, you've got a bit of a gash over your right eyebrow there. Do you remember what happened or when that happened in the fight?
Yeah, well, that's something I'm going to have to work on again. I threw a few kicks and ended up my back now, but I think he caught the first one and put me there, and I was looking for that triangle, almost got it a few times, but wasted a wee bit too much time going after it, and he caught me with a couple of big elbows. At the time, I didn't notice I was caught. I just felt a few drips, and he thought he must have caught me. So. You
were chatting there just to Sean about how you felt at 145. When you were weighing in, how was the weight cut? Was that okay overall?
Very straightforward. Like, I carry a lot of muscle. I'm in the sauna every day. I'm well used to it. It doesn't faze me. I only had to do 3 stints, got down to the weight. I was back in the cage at 77.5 kilo. I think last night I went up close to 78.5, so I'm a big boy at the weight, like, you know, but nah, I sweat very well, and the weight cut wasn't an issue. I've been working with Yannick McGee, and that man, he's like a scientist when it comes to it, so he had me right.
Do you reckon you'll be staying at 145 or back up to 155?
I could go between the two, you know. I think this slightly smaller frame suits me better, but there's no reason I can't go up and down. You know, I have the power for 155, but I do think featherweight's me.
When do you want to be fighting again next this year? Are you one of the fighters that has a US visa or no?
Well, they told me if I get in and out clean tonight, I don't know if they'll accept that as in and out as clean, but they told me they might get it on the Paris card, so we'll see.
You seem to be nodding intently between rounds there with your coaches. What was it they were not liking what they were seeing with you in round 1?
You know, as I said, I threw a kick and ended up in my back, and I thought, you know, I felt like I could threaten them with a few submissions off my back, so I didn't rush back to my feet. I thought I'd throw up a few attempts and maybe wasted a wee bit too much time in the triangle, give them a bit of an opportunity. But I knew my mistakes going back to the rounds. I was calm. John talked me through a few things, and I just knew he was going to fade over time. So I was going to come on, and he was going to go down. So that's what happened.
You said after your last fight that you were a bit disappointed, and I noticed that the YouTube channel kind of fell by the wayside. Did that additional focus, do you feel that helped you in this camp?
Oh, massively. Like, as I said, maybe I didn't get the show at 100%, but I feel like I've gone one step backwards to go 2 steps forward, and I've really patched up all the holes in my game. So I feel like I'm a much better, I'm more well-rounded now than what I was 6 months ago, and that's the way I'm going to continue to train and improve.
Appreciate that. Thanks very much.
Thanks.
Congrats on the win.
Nick Gorey, Air Media. With the crowd today, Do you feel any extra motivation, any sense of like obligation to help grow MMA even more in the region or in the country, actually?
Sorry, can you?
Sorry, with the crowd today and the reactions you're getting, do you feel any extra sort of obligation to grow the sport in Ireland, and what will you do towards that?
Well, hearing the crowd now really pushed me on during the fight. I always find that I'm sure everyone's the same. I take a lot of motivation from hearing them chanting and shouting me on. So I'm not really sure what the question was, but the crowd really spurred me on, and if that helps.
Yeah. Well, the question is like, does that give you an extra like obligation to sort of help grow the sport?
I don't feel like I have an obligation, but I take pride in being part of it. Like like so Richie Small in there now, he's just after a win, and all the other boys. I feel a pride being part of that. Part of the team, going out and doing John proud, doing Irish MMA proud. Like, not really an obligation. I'm just happy to be part of it and one of the fighters on the way up. Cheers, thanks.